currently raining right now, and I don't know if I should be welding anymore in the rain. I get a nice hairdo.
Hey, we appreciate you guys coming out, watching us here at the Odd Rod Garage. We got a bunch of stuff to do on Brandon's truck. Big block, big window, big brakes, and big budget. Anyway, we appreciate you guys coming and spending time with us, so check it out.
Good morning, everybody. Odd Rod Garage here. And today we're messing with some more weird pulley stuff today. So again, we're working on Brandon's truck. I'm trying to get it wrapped up to the point to where we can fire it. Obviously you guys saw the headers, we made the motor mounts, all that stuff. This morning I made this adjuster here for the alternator. The reason why I made it is you can buy those brackets, but a lot of times they don't fit, and I'm going to tell you why they don't fit. Because a lot of times they're too straight. Obviously pivot here, and obviously as you have a pivot here, obviously as that alternator goes in and out, it actually moves in an arc. But when you buy these brackets in the aftermarket, a lot of times they're too straight. So so you end up having to pie cut them and stuff like that. And okay, so you've bought this thing, and now you have to cut it up and re-weld it and everything else. So like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and make the one that we know will fit. It's got a good arc, right? So here's the alternator. Alternator's good. We have his old belts. Actually, it's a new belt, but it's been laying around. But anyway, it mocks up well. It runs true. Everything's good. So, all right, another super quick story. When Brandon had bought this, unfortunately, it told him it was a turnkey girl. It was not. There was all kinds of stuff that was missing. No steering column, no wiring, no brakes, all that stuff. It was missing a lot of stuff. What I think we have here, we're messing with the power steering pump this morning. This guy right there. You know, why is it that when you're mocking stuff up, it don't leak, it drop, but as soon as you put it over good paint, makes a mess. Anyway, so this is Brandon's pump. It's going to get replaced and stuff like that, but the bracketry is way wrong. We're going to have to do some manipulation this morning. So this is what I'm talking about. By the time this is all where it needs to be, that pump is way out here. I mean, we're talking, it needs to go even further than that. And if we do that, I have no place for the pressure line. I have no place for the return line. The pump itself is too low. So that means this bracket won't work. So I think what we have here is, I think we have power steering brackets for probably like an RV or something. Because I don't even think a square body would, I don't think the dimension on a square body is that much different than this frame here. So that's why I think they're for like an RV or something. And you know, part guys, they don't know any different. And somebody who's building don't really know any different either, unless you have to cut up stuff like we do here all the time. So I could change a lot of stuff and put the pump up here. I don't want to do that. I don't think Brandon will like that. I'm positive that Pete wouldn't like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this bracket and I'm going to bolt it to the block, but I'm going to mark on here where my new pivot would be for a 36-inch belt. Oh, come here, you. Here. Like that. So, which puts our new pivot on the pump. It's going to be about here. So if you imagine your pivot here, here's this, right? At this angle, we have plenty of adjustment here. And with the pivot right there, as you adjust that, it should react pretty quickly against that. So I think that's about our best bet there. I'm not worried about the pump getting clocked too far out, because if we have a belt that's relatively close, I'm sure it'll work fine. So I have to take these brackets and I have to not so much cut the end off first, but I want to make a new pivot point. That way if I just spot weld it on there, you know, just like we did the motor mounts. Spot weld a tab on those, you know, dry fit the pump, see what we got. You know, is the action good? Is it clear? Is the slide gonna work right? Because if our pivot's here, I think it should be pretty good. Anyway, as long as we just spot weld it on there, we're not really committed to anything. Yeah, we could probably buy brackets for it, but anymore, a lot of the stuff we run into, you're gonna end up having to change it anyway. So we're looking at these brackets, and unfortunately these brackets look brand new. I just think they're for the wrong application. And so let's make it easier on ourselves. I mean, he's got, you know, Brandon's got new lines on the pump and stuff like that. There's a lot of good stuff. We just have to change it a little bit, which requires work. Anyway, enough of me blabbing. I'm gonna cut a little tab with a 3/8 hole and just tack it on here, and then we'll put it on the back of the pump, and we'll see if that's a good starting point. So hang on, let's get something done. And I know it seems like extra work when I'm just welding stupid stuff on there, but you know, sometimes you gotta put stuff in the hole just to find out where it doesn't want to be, you know? You know what I mean? So here's my little scratchy mark there. The center of the bolt should be about a ½ inch further down from here. So let's just go ahead and do a quick line here. Let's go ahead and transpose it to the back side because I'm going to weld the tab on the front here. I'm going to paddle wheel this. I better get it going because it looks like rain's coming. 3/8 hole, a little just stupid piece of strap. Spot weld it on there, put it back on, see what we got. Guess I have to plug this in, huh? Power tools needing power. How dumb is that?
When I saw you downtown, I started acting like a clown, just to see if you would notice me and maybe get you to laugh. I did get some attention from the girl right next to you. Then all my friends saw me fleeing for my life.
I was off with my eyeball measurement. I don't know why. Hey. Okay, so again, obviously our brackets up against the block. I found a really long 3/8 bolt with a jam nut with some shims. Shim the pump out to where it's gonna be for the bracket up against the block. So now I gotta make the bracket. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this pattern that I have, mark it out on some cardboard. Anyway, that's cool. We know it works. Let's make it work. Okay guys, check it out. It's got a power steering pump on there. That's the bracket we made. Bolts there, down here, just like it would normally factory. Our pivots are good. Our slot adjustment runs well. The belt's actually good with that. Look, we have all kinds of room for our hoses. It'll probably end up coming somewhere right around in here. We still have room for our oil pressure sending unit, which we'll probably put back here in the back of the motor. So now we have that established. I'm not going to mess with the lines right now. There's some other stuff that I need to be doing, but it's currently raining right now, and I don't know if I should be welding anymore in the rain. I get a nice hairdo. Good morning, everybody. Odd Rod Garage here. Wanted you to join us today on a sloppy, rainy Thursday. It's kind of a rarity that it rains here all day, but here we are. Anyway, I'm working some more on Brandon's truck here. I'm doing some of the smaller fine-tuning stuff. Again, when he had bought this truck, the throttle wasn't hooked up and stuff like that. Right here is the throttle pedal. Right, it's coming out of the Firewall. This is a rod that I had made, and I found a good piece of rod because the other throttle linkage that he had, it was too short and somebody had already welded on it and it kind of looked poo-poo. What we'd like to do here is try to make everything operate like a factory kind of thing would. You don't want the throttle pedal standing straight up because that looks dumb, It feels weird ergonomically. So in order to make that carburetor function all the way through its whole throw, it starts getting into a geometry thing. So what I've done this morning was, this is our new pivot on the carburetor right here. And if you notice, it's actually shorter towards the pivot point on the carburetor. And always remember, if you have a big sweep, the closer you make it to that pivot point, the faster it reacts. But you lose leverage. So if you get too far down, it makes the throttle real stiff. Don't like a stiff throttle. So I think that's a sweet spot right there. And now it's already provisioned already in the carburetor from factory. So I mean, if you guys need to do that, it's there. So right now, what I did here is I made a new rod. And if you look at the position of that lever, of the throttle pedal lever, you see the position of that. If you were straight shot from here to there, it would look really weird. Plus it'd be borderline over centered. So what I did was I went ahead and made my 90-degree hook here, and then I bent it up and then this bend, because now it changes geometry. So now it's not running a real hard angle like this. Now it's actually up here. And again, it works fine, and it's just the throttle. It's not like it's having to pull on 300 pounds. And again, you guys know when you're doing a project like this, it's this little stuff that kills you, man. This, that, you know, I mean, we still have to make a bracket for the kickdown cable. And granted, you can buy this kind of stuff. It doesn't always fit, but it might not look like you want it to aesthetically. So me personally, I like really petite brackets and stuff like that, but to make them petite, they got to be strong. Blah, 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 blah. But anyway, for what we're doing right now, it's going to be a pretty simple straight piece of stock, bent at that 45 degrees here, and we'll make that spring probably run something like right in here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go inside the truck. I'm going to operate the throttle, make sure we're everybody's where it wants to be. Okay, so our throttle, when the pedal hit the floor, we're somewhere right in here. Okay, there's our secondaries. So it looks like we need to adjust this up just a little bit. Alright, so now where it's adjusted is that. Okay, that is almost, it's almost 100% throttle. It's probably about 85 or 90 right now. This girl with the big cam and everything, if you had this girl wide open anyway, it'd be a little dangerous. Okay, I think we're gonna leave it, because inside the truck, if you imagine this is the floor, that pedal's sitting about like that, which is about factory, and it looks like it's ergonomically comfortable. So I think we're gonna leave it there. I think it's just about perfect. Like I said, that's for Brandon's truck. That's probably 85–90% throttle. And again, with the kind of amount of power that this motor is going to have, I think that's plenty. But you know, if he wants us to adjust or something, again, there's provisions to do it. Whenever you make something, try to make it adjustable if you can. I scored, yay! I scored a kickdown bracket, and the reason why it's so hard to make is, obviously you just have a square hole, which isn't too hard, but on one end there's a little half moon that's on the cable, so you can only clock it one way, and to get that you got to file, and there's just a lot of boo-boo-caca. So what I've done, I cut the back of the bracket off to kind of whittle it down, and that actually doesn't look half bad. Yay! And actually after that, all the throttle stuff is done. All the throttle stuff is done, all the pulley stuff is done. So it's actually, we're almost done with the mock-up for the whole truck, which is good.
Well, that was another couple of days in the life of the Odd Rod Garage. You see, Tommy did exactly what he should have done. Past couple of days, he's been building brackets and hooking up doohickeys and whipple snoppers and all kinds of different stuff. Yeah, that's technical.
Watch your language, sir.
That's technical terminology. Don't feel bad if you don't know what that is. Left inverted smoke shifters and all kinds of different stuff. Anyway, brackets take longer than anything out there besides possibly wiring. It looks really easy, drop an engine in, everything looks good. No, there's days and days and days of work left. So anyway, that's what we got done. We're going to be messing with front clips on this thing next week, and hopefully in the next 2 or 3 weeks we're going to have this girl out of here. We want to thank you guys for coming and spending time with us. Make sure you subscribe, smash that like button, hit that bell notification. You know, refer us over to a friend. We'd really appreciate it. And as always, thanks for watching.